This is a totally different type of video for me today. I've been wanting to talk about this for a while, but first I wanted to get a little bit of experience with it or use it a little bit more before I talked about it with you guys. I have got the bruises to prove it. You probably can't see, but yeah, there's the bruises. Yellow bruise here. Anyway, what I'm talking about is kettlebells. And recently, well, within the past year or so, I have started to reincorporate weight training into my exercise routine. I had pulled back on that several years ago because I'd gone just a little bit too hard and heavy with it, and I was walking around like a cripple because I have bad knees. I was born with bad knees, so I can only handle but so much repetitive type of heavy lifting, sort of like squats and things like that with my knees. So I moved on to yoga, and yoga was great. It still is great. I still do yoga. I still walk pretty much every day, but I wanted to incorporate weight training back into my exercise routine. And so I've been doing dumbbells again and all that stuff. But then for whatever reason, I started getting interested in kettlebells. And for years, I poo-pooed the idea of working with them, and then I decided, okay, I'm going to get one. What should I do? And I was bummed about the thought of buying just one kettlebell at a time, and especially when the weight increments, I think it jumps up from it takes 4 kilogram jumps. And so that kind of bummed me out because I didn't know, well, what should I start at? I've never used kettlebells before. I've used dumbbells for many, many years, but it's different. Your center of gravity is different. You hold the equipment differently. So I didn't want to start too heavy. And I thought adjustables would be a great idea. And I still think they are a great idea. But even with the adjustables, or the ones that I had been looking at, they still have these big weight increment jumps. And also, a lot of them, well, like the bottom part, I felt like maybe it's, what if it falls or something? Then there was another one where you could take it apart with like this, what's it called, an Allen wrench. That one was cool, but it started at something that I knew was going to be way too heavy for me starting off. And the guy who ran that channel, oh gosh, his name is, he has a channel. It's a really big channel. He's got some great videos on there, Wildman Athletica or something like that. And he wrote me back and he said, well, you could just get an empty bottom plate. And so that would bring it down to, I can't remember, however many kilograms, it would bring it down to probably something a little bit more attainable. But even still, I was hesitant to start off that heavy. Because I know when you're working with kettlebells, you're moving the kettlebell in a way that's different from dumbbells a lot of times. So I wanted to start off low and get the movements and understand how all of that worked. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll do that. And I almost bought myself an adjustable kettlebell. And then I found out about this cool new kettlebell. Well, it's not new. It's been around for a little bit. And anybody who's watching this, if you guys have done kettlebelling, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about already. And here comes a fur baby. Wants to get up my lap. Hold on a minute. So what was I saying? Oh, I was saying if you've done kettlebells, you've probably heard of this. It's called the Pro Kettlebell. And it's really cool. And I'll tell you why. For different reasons. I'm going to show you what it looks like. And this is what it looks like, okay? Yes, this is a really light one. I just got a 4 kilogram, which is, 8.8 pounds? And that was really light, super light. Some things made it a little heavy. When you do like 50, 100 swings, after a while it gets heavy. So what's cool about this is the Atlas version. They have another one called I can't remember. Atlas, and they both start with A's, whatever. I think this is the Atlas one. It's a little smaller, which is good. The handle or the horn is a little smaller because I have small hands and it makes it a little easier to grip it. But something that's cool about these kettlebells is that they have designed it in such a way. If you haven't noticed kettlebells, they have this, it's completely round, right? Like a ball. And a lot of times, if you're not gripping the kettlebell right, or even if you are, just the repetitive usage of that rounded hump of the ball of the kettlebell, it can hurt your arm, which this one still did to mine, but that's just, after 25 clean and presses and doing them quickly, I end up having to take these things off because I hurt myself if I don't. What's cool about this is it's got this little, on both sides, it's got this little, like a little groove here that it's perfect. It's perfect for your arm. it forces your arm to get in the right position. See, it's not this hump. It's like your arm just rests right in there securely. So it's pretty cool. I like that. And that was one of the reasons why I decided that I wanted to go ahead and get this one, because I was so new to it and I didn't want to be starting off with bad form. I wanted something that was going to force me into correct form, which this one does quite easily. If you're not holding it correctly, you can feel it and you make the adjustment. Another reason that I wanted to get this is because this is a cool feature, a couple cool features. It's got this opening really big. So when you're doing things like, what does they call it, around the world or whatever you're doing that, I gotta be careful on my microphone. You can grip the kettlebell more easily than if it had a flat bottom and you have to hold it like this and then it might slip. And then the third reason that I decided to get this one, even though this is a 4 kilogram, it's not adjustable, but it is in a sense, because Pro Kettlebells also makes these cool little insertable magnetic weights. So I got 2 of them. They sell them in 1 kilogram increment and 2 kilogram increments, and I got 2. Now, the guy from the YouTube channel, he told me that they are stackable. Pro Kettlebells says that they don't advise stacking them. Well, I'm probably still going to try anyway, because the reason that I liked that is because I've added 1, so now I'm working with 5 kilograms, which is 11 pounds. Pretty sure if my calculations are correct. And so when I'm ready to go up another, I can remove this and put the 2 kilogram in, and then after a bit, I can then stick the 1 kilogram in and have 3 extra kilograms. The downside is these magnets are strong. They're strong. They're very strong. I don't think I'm going to be able to take it out by myself. I had to have my bodybuilder brother pull it off for me, and even he had to struggle. And so I don't know what I'm going to do when it's time to replace that doggone magnet to upgrade to a 2 kilogram. And then when I stick, them together, then I have 3, which then turns this into 7 kilograms. So that's a pretty sizable increase in weight, but doing it incrementally. So by the time I get to the point where 7 kilograms, which is like 15 something pounds, 15, 16 pounds, 7 times 2.2. When I get to that point, that will be a while from now, because I'm going to take my time. I'm not going to really rush into it. I did kind of rush from 4 up to 5 because I knew that I could handle 11 pounds. It's still pretty light for me in some exercises, but challenging for me in others. Like deadlifts, super easy. But the swings are easy, but after a while, it gets pretty heavy. The clean and press, after you're doing 25, it gets heavy. But by the time I get to where I'm really comfortable with the 7 kilogram weight, I can then buy another, the next one up is 8. So I will be incrementally jumping up 1 kilogram at a time as opposed to 4. Because a 4 kilo jump, that's really heavy weight. And something that I appreciated about this whole idea is these small incremental advancements, and it helps to keep you from getting discouraged. So I thought this was such a cool product. I decided I wanted to talk about it with you guys. And I have briefly before mentioned how I'm into exercise and things like that. And I thought that this was something worth sharing because of how neat it is. Anybody who's kettlebelling probably already knows about this. This might be nothing new, but just in case this is new, and if you're interested in trying something different, or you're interested in getting into kettlebelling, this is a great one to get started with, I think. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. And that's it. I don't have anything else to say. I told you this is going to be a different one. Okay, well, I'm signing off now. Nos vemos.